Tonight on Chronicle, it's a hobby made in heaven. Why the New Hampshire Flying Tigers say winging it is perfect family fun.
This is an interesting, I never know whether to call it a sport or a hobby. It's kind of in between. It does a little bit of both. It's interesting because, you know, I tell people if you take your kids out to play baseball or football, what do? You sit on the sidelines and your kids do everything. With this, you can get involved and do it together.
What if you do like to travel around?
Yeah, imagine being the pilot of your very own plane, flying through the air, doing zips, turns, loops, and your feet never even leave the ground.
Well, that's just what the New Hampshire Flying Tigers do every time they put their remote-controlled aircraft into flight.
The Tigers recently celebrated the opening of a new flying site in Londonderry. We spent some time with them and quickly found out why this hobby is really taking off.
Sky pilot, how high can you fly?
Well, the Flying Tigers is a radio control model aircraft flying club. We are a group of people who enjoy aviation, miniature aviation, model airplanes.
For more than 30 years, the New Hampshire Flying Tigers have been taking to the skies around southern New Hampshire with radio-controlled model airplanes that come in every conceivable shape, size, and color.
Your typical model airplane has maybe about a 60 or 70-inch wingspan, so maybe about 5 or 6 feet or so, weighs about 5 or 6 pounds, maybe 8 pounds. We have some larger ones here that maybe have 96 or 100-inch wingspans, might weigh 25, 30 pounds. So depending on what you're interested in, there's all different types of aircraft. Some people like scale aircraft, you know, your P-51 Mustangs or your bombers and things like that. Other people like things that go fast and are very aerobatic. So there's all types of aircraft, model helicopters, gliders. You name the aircraft, it exists in model aviation.
The big green one, that's a B-25 Mitchell bomber. Okay. In the back, there's a P-47 Thunderbolt, that's electric, and there's a P-38 Lightning, that's also electric. And then the red, white, and blue plane, that was a project we did last winter. 10 of us bought the kits and in the club, and we built them as a project. We showed them, you know, a couple times, and there was a competition at the field on flying them at the in the early part of the summer.
The club operates 2 flying sites. Both are in Londonderry.
We have 2 flying sites. We were at one of them called B Street. So as a member, you can come here anytime and use the facilities. The model airplanes do require some space to fly, so you want a place that's safe to fly. There's plenty of room. So what's nice about this is we have an organized flying site, a runway. This is all grass. We keep well maintained and mowed, so you have a place that's capable of flying, taking off, and landing planes, but it's also safe to do because it's not an open area. We can control it.
The second site is their newest and is the one they call Auburn Road.
We just didn't have permission to use that for about a year now. That was a former EPA Superfund site, so it's a incredible opportunity to get to use that property. I mean, previously this was a, you know, I'd say brown spot on the landscape of Londonderry, and we've turned it into a, you know, something the community can be proud of now.
It was a team effort that put this field together, and it was a lot of work. And you have the group that, to do this, start having to negotiate with the town of Londonderry and the EPA, and by the time you get down to the point where you can put a bulldozer on the, you know, on the property, you've got a lot of guys involved in it.
Taking off. Okay, when I get it turned around, you got it, okay?
Okay.
The club also prides itself on its training program, which works with beginners to teach them what they need to know, because flying a model airplane is not as easy as it seems.
Flying a radio control model airplane is totally different than flying a real airplane. In a real airplane, you're sitting in the cockpit. You turn the plane right, it's always going to the right. You turn it left, it's always going to the left. If you turn it right or left or go up and down, you can feel it on the seat of your butt to know which way the plane's going. With a model airplane, you're standing on the ground, so you're in a fixed position, and the airplane is moving around in space. So it's a totally different feeling.
Some students, like Alex Gomes of Salem, took it naturally. He flies like an expert, when he really just started last year.
I've always been into RC cars, and at the hobby shop they sell both of the same parts, like planes, helicopters, RC cars. So I was there for my RC car one day, and I came out and there was a flyer for Intro to Flight, New Hampshire Flying Tigers, and it was an RC flying club. So me and my dad said, hey, let's go, try it out, you know. So we got that, and then we went there, and I brought one of my friends, and then it was a really fun time, and we did trainer flights, and that's really what got me into it.
We have all types, from grandfathers to grandsons to uncles and aunts, and I mean family members. Probably from about, I think the youngest kids are about 8 or 10 years old. I mean, we've had some younger than 8, but they don't have the focus to stay with it. You know, they enjoy it. As they get a little bit older, you know, they can get into it a little bit more. But it's mainly families. This is an interesting, I never know whether to call it a sport or a hobby. It's kind of in between. It does a little bit of both. It's interesting because, you know, I tell people, if you take your kids out to play baseball or football, what do? You sit on the sidelines and your kids do everything. With this, you can get involved and do it together. So it's really unique that way.
Families like Scott McCormick and his 2 sons, who just love it.
It's incredible to see their smile on their face when they do a new maneuver or see the plane in the air doing what they want it to do.
Taking off, landing, and doing a lot of tricks. Yeah. I just like it because it's really fun. I like being trained. It's just really fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's relaxing. Some people love the social aspects of getting together with a group of people, a club type of environment. Others just like being outside in the sun. Put that all together, plus with the skills involved. It's not just sitting around watching the grass grow. It's actually something to do to practice.
Sky!